It's 7:37 West African time. This is Daybreak. Thank you for staying with us. Now, the Nigerian government has dismissed a U.S. report alleging a lack of transparency in public procurement. Director General of the Bureau of Public Procurement, Dr. Adedokun, said the claim ignores reforms introduced under President Bola Tinubu. He noted that contracts are now advertised openly, awards follow due process, and anti-graft agencies are prosecuting offenders. Adedokun added that Nigeria is moving towards full e-procurement involving civil society and professional bodies to ensure accountability. He insisted the system has become more transparent, pointing to recent cases where foreign firms won contracts online without local connections. He said reforms over the past year show Nigeria is committed to accountability and improving public trust.
Okay, to join us live on this discussion, we have live from Arise News, the Director General of the Bureau of Public Procurement, Mr. Adedokun, joining us live in the studio. You're welcome to Daybreak on Arise News, Mr. Adedokun.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on your show. Yes,
let's quickly go to the heart of the story, coming against the backdrop of a very indicting report from the Global Fiscal Reporting, saying that there hasn't been significant progress report by that institution called the Bureau of Public Procurement. But in Nigeria, along the civil service corridor, when people hear procurement, there is a kind of shiver, and people feel that it's too much of a bottleneck. Could you explain what are the major challenges in the role of procurement along the contracts awarding value chain?
Thank you very much. Let me first of all, once again, clarify that that report is not new. It's what we expect for a reform that we're undertaking. We expect such reports to come. It only enables us to, or put us on our toes to do more work. That's just the implication of that report. And like I already said in my response, if you watch under President Bola Tinubu, especially when I came on board, you would have seen some major transformation happening in the country. I mean, there's nowhere today in the country in terms of procurement that you mentioned the hotel is no longer business as usual. I mean, you could take very simple example. In the recent memories, I have had to sanction some government agencies to reform money back to the coffers of government. And they are doing that. I can also tell you clearly that my colleagues at AFCC, ICPC are daily receiving reports from me asking them to carry out prosecution against erring public servants and even contractors. So these are major, yes. What we need to do more is basically to publish all these details, which we are doing. And I can tell you straight ahead, when I asked the president, he said, please, did you do it? Go ahead and do. Anybody who violates the provisions of the law, I have nothing against them. Let them go ahead and face prosecution. So in the next couple of weeks and months to come, in fact, I've rebranded our websites that you begin to see real live information about status of infractions. You begin to see data being given out.
Okay, let's just draw your attention to what's happening in the Nigerian oil sector. The moribund refineries, so much contracts were awarded. How come there've been such a huge leakage in that sector? What's as your institution, the BPP, done in that regard?
Remember again that some years back, we were also able to monitor or approve contracts in the oil and gas sector many years ago. But because of the PIA that came out recently, we've not been able to do that, but we're getting back to that. And procurement covers everything, including oil and gas. So we're already having some behind-the-scenes discussion to put a proper searchlight into that area. And I can tell you for a fact that my colleagues at ICPC, they are carrying out, as I'm talking to you, serious investigation. It's just a matter of time where you begin to see the outcome of some of these. And you said something quite germane that I need to address. What are those bottlenecks? I'm a fraud examiner, and I can tell you the value chain in procurement. I can tell you straight ahead. One of them is that the lack of compliance by MDAs. to follow rules. That is one major challenge we've seen. Also, visibility in terms of public engagement, public citizens engagement. It has not been that good in the last couple of years. But if you see from our assumption of duty, you would have noticed that we are constantly engaging all stakeholders in terms of giving them understanding. That's one challenge. We also noticed that there's poor penetration of rules and regulations. Again, this takes us back to the COVID-19, where we had to relax the procurement rules, and people took advantage of that. To now return people back to what it should be is now a uniqueness task that we are driving. And also another challenge is lack of capacity by my colleagues in the field. Many of them just knew that procurement is more of awarding of contracts, transactions. They were not tutored. So right now, I'm turning that...
Sorry, to make this discussion well-rounded, I think Vimbai is trying to...
Dr. Adedokun, yes, if you can hear me, just confirm that you can hear me.
I can hear you.
You know, thank you so much for sort of setting the scene, and, you know, you've also laid out some of the challenges that you faced and how you've looked for ways to overcome them. But I want to go back to a point that you made earlier, because you did say that you've just rebranded your website. Soon you'll be publishing statistics, around prosecutions and so forth. But I'm sure you have an idea of what that percentage looks like. What's the percentage of infractions that we're seeing where budget execution of contracts are concerned? Because the concern from most citizens is that we see these huge contracts being awarded. In many cases, we're not able to follow up and see what comes of them. And this is also just to chime in that report from the U.S. State Department, which indicted the Office of the Auditor General of the government, of the Federation, and they say that the Supreme Audit Institution does not meet international standards of independence or even publish substantive reports. So, if you can marry all of these things. So number one, what are the statistics of all contracts awarded? What's the percentage of contracts that you found had infractions? And then number two, they're saying that the Auditor General is not even living up to international expectations. So how do you even know that your statistics are legitimate?
Okay, thank you very much. There's what we call NOCOPO, that's the Open Contracting Portal, where is in line with open government partnership, where we're supposed to upload when contracts are being prepared, when they are supposed to be uploaded, at what time do you do bid opening, at what point do you do evaluation, when do you award. All these data are things that are also available to civil society groups. They are available to other critical stakeholders. So there has been an apathy in time past where people don't just believe that these things are real. So right now we're trying to build that trust to say, please go to this portal, have access to it. Where civil society don't have access to it, we can give them access. Beyond that, when I mentioned the issue of BPP website being rebranded, effectively from October 1, you are going to see a real live website where you'll be seeing data and numbers being churned out regularly. The number of contracts being awarded at different levels of ministries, parastatals, FEC level, all this will be coming real time. Number of projects being investigated or being undergoing administrative reviews. You are going to begin to see number of petitions. And beautiful, let me say something to you
right now.
Let me also say something to you about the recent approved threshold that demands that all government agencies are now being directed at quarterly, they must submit full report of their procurement activities to enable us carry out procurement audit. As I'm talking to you, every day, I'm sending out teams to carry out audits. Once I hear an infraction...
Dr. Adedokun, I said, how many contracts are you currently investigating?
We have
out of a total of how many?
Right now, under 2024, I have over a total of about 254 contracts. Though, mind you, this 254 is not one. They have subs. Some of them have in one, you have like 50, 100. Just give us a bit of time. We'll get we'll publish these details for you to undertake.
Okay.
One thing that has been missing is that we allow things to go wrong before we intervene. That is the paradigm shift that we have brought on board now. To say we won't even wait. I can give you one or two success stories that I think the public need to be able to know. I won't mention names of agency where I have had to, the chief executive merely got my letter instantly. He had to withdrew whatever action, illegal action he took, because he already knows that he's on his way to being prosecuted. There are so many more of such things that are going on.
It's interesting that you have spoken about the rebranding and the positive things that you're trying to accomplish now. But my question is, what about things that have been done previously, such as cost overruns, unwarranted variations, and abandoned projects? Can you talk to us more about those, project delays that we have seen in the past? How are those things being tackled?
Okay, thank you very much. As I'm talking to you right now, we have sent reports of close to 27 between March and now to my colleagues, where they are currently, as I'm talking to you, they are inviting past leaders, they are inviting current procurement officers to come and account for those things. Cost variation, and I think I need to help Nigerians to understand there's nothing wrong with cost variation, ideally, because there are factors that makes cost variation to occur. For instance, where you don't pay on time, you don't expect the contractor to bear the burden. You will ask for augmentation. And then where there are change of specification, all these are cost variation inclusive. And more about it is the fact that when we improve on our power, a lot of things make cost of project to be more expensive in the country. And when we address that, it will help us to reduce the cost of doing projects.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty of contract awarding within the corridors of the civil service. It appears that one thing that is lacking, that many people have complained about, is a capacity deficit. Because we understand that there is an approval threshold for permanent secretaries, because they are the chief accounting officers of all the ministries, which provides that they could award as much as 20 million naira for goods, 30 million naira for works, 30 million naira or below for works, and 10 million naira for services. But when you look at this, it's as if that they've gotten a smart way through contract splitting to bypass the Bureau of Public Procurement. So what are you doing to tighten the news in this process?
One of them is what I call engaging them on the consequences of failure to adhere to procurement processes. And what that means is that there are consequences. For instance, if we go on spot check of those procurement within your threshold, and we find you violated it, the law gives us approval authority to recommend to government presidency removal of heads of agencies, procurement officers who have violated.
Wait a minute. How do you determine a splitted contract?
It's very simple. When you deliberately break projects into pieces to avoid level of authorization, that clearly gives us a red flag. There are other determinants. For instance, when we ask you to upload your procurement plan, and you uploaded it and you change it in the middle of the game, we have all procurement plans from all agencies uploaded on Nocopo. Now we're already collating those who are refused to comply, sending it to the Office of Secretary to the Government of the Federation to issue queries. Because that is not my job to issue query. But I'll send it to the office, the appropriate office, to demand accountability from those accounting officers and officers involved. So what we're doing now is to then go real time. That Nocopo platform is a real-time solution to some of these challenges, meaning you don't award a contract on you have planned, and we must see it real time.
Dr. Adedokun,
Yes.
I think there's an issue that we're dancing around here.
Yeah.
And earlier I highlighted the point of institutional independence.
Yes.
Because the understanding that the layman has is that there are contracts that are reserved for certain people. That's their ministry. And that no matter what, however it's channeled, the rightful owners of those contracts must enjoy them. They must benefit from them, whether the work is done or not. That's what the U.S. State Department highlighted in issues concerning institutional independence.
Okay.
So you can publish as many things as you like on your website, and you can chase a few briefcase businesses left, right, and center. But what we're looking for are the big fish, the major contracts. We had an issue in Enugu State recently concerning Sujibomi Ogundele around the construction of smart schools. That's at a state level. But those are the kinds of projects we're talking about here. So tell me, where does institutional independence come into play when we know that there are various orgas who interfere with this process so that they can benefit?
Okay, Vimba, again, since I assumed duty, I've not had a situation whereby my political leaders have asked me to do something wrong. That I can say to the entire nation. None of them have called me to say, no, do it this way. However, like you pointed out, we're doing institutional reforms where even the procurement officer at that level will be held accountable for either misguiding government to lose money or to cause government to inflate project costs or to take projects. Now there's what we call beneficiary ownership scheme that we are working closely with CAC. We want to be masking or unmasking owners of projects, probably public servants or otherwise. So this is going to take us a bit of some time, but what I can put to Nigerians, to you today, is that is already taking shape now. There's a gradual shift in terms of mindset. And I can tell you also, I've received comment from contractors that have sent me message that for the first time, they can build confidence that BPP would attend to their complaints. I have them on my text, on my phones, where they said, look, I didn't believe that contracts can be awarded without you knowing anybody. I did that in my office. I did international competitive bidding. Contractors didn't know me. They didn't come to Nigeria, but they bidded and won. I have examples here today that is showing that. Our Federal Tenders Journal, Vimba, I want you to take a look at it. About a year ago, you might probably see only 2 pages of Federal Tenders Journal. Today, it has increased to 16, 20. So there's an upsurge. What is lacking is data provision and information to the public, which I promise we'll begin to give to you. Together with civil society, professional bodies, we can hold people accountable.
All right. Well, on that note, I guess that's all we have time for. Your final statement, though, bidding process. Are you content bidding process, projects like the Coastal Highway and so forth, that didn't really go through a robust bidding process? In just one sentence.
Yeah, remember, you see, there are different methods of procurement. It's not only open competition. Nigeria, every country have attended global functions where government has strategic projects and they use different methods of procurement to address that because of time, because of a number of factors. Yes, that was a project that went through a limited competitive bidding process. And we're watching the implementation. I can tell you myself, the ministers and co. That's why the president said, I want real-time implementation on daily basis. That's one. And to just end it up, we're going electronic. We're deploying government procurement system fully through pilot phases. This will check a number of excesses that I want Nigerians to build that trust on that.
All right. We absolutely do want to build that trust. Director General of the Bureau of Public Procurement, Dr. Adedokun. Thank you so much for your time this morning. And that's all we have time for here on Daybreak. I'm Vimbai Mutiniri signing out from Lagos.
And I'm Benga Ashiru saying, do have a most pleasant day.
And I'm Yolanda Robert. Please do keep it here on Arise News. The morning show is next. Goodbye.